Hello dear students, welcome back to the discussion of NEWSPAP dated 2nd September Monday 2024. There is a small change in today's discussion from today onwards, accepting the request or considering the request of students from especially from the northern India, from Delhi. Since I was following the newspaper edition, nothing much, but still I am just informing you so that if you are comparing this articles with your newspaper, you should know which edition I am referring to. So from today onwards, you would be referring to the Delhi edition of Hindu newspaper. So until yesterday, we were referring to the international edition of Hindu newspaper. But considering the request, I put a poll, and most of the students were requesting me to do based on the Delhi edition, so that it will be more kind of integrated preparation, because they will be reading this Delhi edition. So that only. And the second thing, I am very happy to share you the Delhi edition newspaper PDF, Hindu PDF in the Telegram channel, free of cost. I will be sharing for my students, for my mentees. I will be sharing the Hindu newspaper PDF of whatever the edition I will be discussing in my NEWSPAP. So it is Delhi edition today. I am thinking of continuing with Delhi edition only. So in the same Telegram channel, for which the link is given in the description, in the Telegram channel, I will be uploading this NEWSPAP PDF also. Along with that, from today onwards, I will be uploading the Hindu newspaper also. So I am doing all these things for you only, for my dearest aspirants, to help you with whatever I could in helping you with clearing this any examination, whether UPSC, SSC, RRB or CUET. So before going to the discussion, one request from my side: please do subscribe to the channel, please do like the content, share the content, and please do spread happiness in the comment box. Please do comment happy if you are having a happy, enjoyable days going through. So here we go for the first article. So the first article is coming from the article talks about one of the tribe from Odisha. A couple of days ago also we had a discussion on one of the tribe from the same Odisha. So if anyone could recall which was that tribe, please do comment in the comment box, and I will be mentioning in the next video, I will be mentioning that particular person as an recognition. I will be mentioning that person's name in the next video. So please do comment. Just 2 days ago, one PVTG from Odisha we have discussed, and if you can recall that which was that tribe, which was that PVTG, please do comment in the comment box. And this article is talking about a tribe which names like Dongria Kondh tribal, and it's from Odisha. So the major the questions perspective, or how the question can be expected, is clear from this particular headline itself, the dimension of this article upon which you can get a question. Because if you are going through the previous year question papers, there will be a lot of questions coming from the tribal communities. So most of the times it was seen that they will be asking the tribe, and they would ask you to identify which state it belongs to. So here is a tribe, Dongria Kondh tribe. So this is in news basically for the reason the education for this tribe, the children of this tribe are very inaccessible, or it is not affordable for this students from this community to have the educational assistance. Even though government are taking some efforts to provide education, but still there are low enrollment rates. So there are two reasons. There are one reason which is most important, which is considered is the language barrier. So many of the tribal communities speaks, they convey within them the language they were born into and they brought to, was some languages which is not even codified. Okay, so this language, they only know this language. So what happens when coming to the educating them, teaching them, there has to be a language, or the teacher who is coming to teach them, they should also know that same language, which is many times a difficult thing, and at the same stands as a barrier which is termed as language barrier. So this language barrier is a major contributor to this hinder to their education. Even though there are many schemes which have been brought by the state government, like Madho Singh Hath Kharcha, but still the challenges are there. And now let's quickly go to this about this tribe, and this is a PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribe. So this tribe is classified as a PVTG tribe in India, and we have to see what is this PVTG tribe, which tribe, that also we have to see, because it is very important. These tribes are very important for them, especially this PVTG. So where it is located, the state, it is Odisha, and if you are asking about, there is a hill, that is Niyamgiri Hills, located in the Rayagada and Kalahandi district of Odisha. And how they are meeting their livelihood and talking about their culture, they are mainly focusing on the horticulture and shifting cultivation. So here you can expect another kind of question, a dimension of question, in which they will be giving the features of this particular tribe, and you will be asked to identify which tribe they are referring in that particular passage. Okay, so their livelihood is mostly dependent on the horticulture, and we talked about the Niyamgiri Hills also, and also the language they are speaking, it is Kui language. So Kui language, it is related to which tribe? That is the most important thing you should understand, that is the Dongria Kondh tribe. So Kui language is related to Dongria Kondh tribe, and that is from Odisha. And now, as we discussed, this is an PVTG. Now let's quickly go through what is this PVTG. PVTG is a subcategorization of the scheduled tribe itself. So there will be a lot of scheduled tribes. So from these scheduled tribes, few of the scheduled tribes will be classified as PVTGs. So these PVTGs, if you are going through the background, there is a committee that we should have an understanding, and there is a 5-year plan also, with reference to, we have to see, that is a 4th 5-year plan. In this 4th 5-year plan, the government of India introduced the term primitive tribal group to identify tribes from among the scheduled tribes which were very underdeveloped. So the 4th 5-year plan for the PSC SSC people, this 4th 5-year plan is very important, because in that 5-year plan only these primitive tribal groups were identified in order to give more attention to the more underdeveloped tribal groups among these scheduled tribes. And in 2006, that it was replaced and named as particularly vulnerable tribal group. Okay, so this is the and what criteria, upon what criteria this PVTGs are decided. There are 4 criteria: preservation of pre-agricultural practices, continued reliance on hunting and gathering, decreasing or stagnant population growth, low literacy rate compared to other tribal group. If these 4 criteria are met for a scheduled tribe, then that scheduled tribe will be classified as an PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal group. And talking about the state accommodating, how the state accommodation of PVTGs, the highest number belongs to Odisha, and that the number is 13, and it is followed by Andhra Pradesh, and there are 75 PVTGs total across India, spread over 18 states and 1 union territory. Okay, that is Andaman and Nicobar. Again I am repeating, Odisha has the highest number of PVTG, followed by Andhra Pradesh. So we discussed about this particular tribe of Dongria Kondh from Odisha, their language, their culture, and also the PVTG. What are PVTG? From the scheduled tribes, those who are very underdeveloped, very backward, these tribes are classified as PVTGs. For that, there are 4 criteria. These are the 4 criteria, and if that tribe is meeting these 4 criteria, that will be classified as a PVTG. And Odisha has the largest number of PVTGs, where it is followed by Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so this is about and also the 4th 5-year plan. Why it is important? In that 4th 5-year plan only, this name primitive tribal group was identified to point out this underdeveloped tribe, and that it is in 2006 that this term was replaced as particularly vulnerable tribal group or PVTGs. Okay, So, and the commission, again important for the SSC, CGL people, because the committees, the commissions they used to ask. So, there is a commission, Dehbar Commission. So, this Dehbar Commission is related to identifying these disparities within the scheduled tribes, and this same committee, Dehbar Committee, has recommended that this special attention is needed for this less developed tribe. So, Dehbar Committee also, you should understand, it is regarding to the identification, classification of PVTGs, that origin we can connect to the Dehbar Committee of 1960 and 61. So, dear students, I hope you got what exactly you should take from this particular article that was related to a tribe from Odisha. So, now going to the next article. Before going to the next article, please do spread happiness in the comment box. I want you to be happy, and I always stress the importance of remaining happy during the preparation phase, whether it is any examination, whether it starts from the 10th standard, 12th standard board exam, or the CUET examination, UPSC SSC, you have to be happy, and I make sure that my students are happy, and wherever you can spread happiness. Yeah, this is the right spot in the comment box. Let's everyone see the happiness is being spread. Okay, now let's go into the next article. India's Neighbourhood Watch Past and Present. A very good article which talks about how India's relationship with many of our neighboring countries has evolved over a period of time, and in which all roles India played with reference to these countries. Okay, so now let's quickly go to what this article talking about. So this article is primarily talking about how the influence of India in the neighborhood countries, especially Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Myanmar, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And if you take these countries, see, every country had one or other crisis, even Myanmar, Pakistan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan especially. So India had a strategic approach. India had a strategic success in its in approaching these countries, and many times it is considered as a failure also, many times it is considered as successful also. Now let's go to how it was, and now we will see between 2008 to 2010. In that phase the approach was different, or the outcomes were different, and in the recent phase, which we could say in whatever is happening now, the phase is different. The Bangladesh 2008 to 2009, the Sheikh Hasina became the prime minister with a large majority, especially getting the support from the women and youth, and from that moment we were supporting Bangladesh. And talking about Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka was liberated, and the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE, this LTTE was defeated after 33 years, in which India had some role in this. India had a lot of sustained engagement in defeating this LTTE after 33 years. Okay, and this LTTE, the end of the LTTE has improved the relationship with Sri Lanka by India. And talking about the Maldives, Mohamed Nasheed has become the president after a multi-party elections, and there had a 30 years of autocratic rule, and this autocratic rule was ended by Mohamed Nasheed, and in that stabilization of that democracy, or bringing up the new democratic regime in Maldives, India was a stakeholder. In Myanmar, talking about, they had a 20 years of military rule, and that again was ended. And also India had a major role. Okay, they had the NLD, the National League for Democracy Party, has won landslide victories, in which India also had a role. In Pakistan, talking about Pakistan also, a civilian government was elected, which was headed by Parvez Musharraf, and in that also, in that also we had a support. And now talking about in 2024, this is very important, because this article is important for the reason in the syllabus we have a direct link, where we have a link of neighboring countries, talking about neighboring countries. So you should know what was the status 10 years before and now what is the status we are having. So Bangladesh right now, you know, Sheikh Hasina had to resign, she resigned, and there is a collapse of democracy, or democratic deficit is there, and India is supporting Sheikh Hasina. So that is one thing. And Sri Lanka, talking about the Sri Lanka, India is extending its financial aid to help Sri Lanka's economy. Talking about the Maldives also, we want to build up a new relationship. Why? Because we were unprepared for the electoral victory of President Mohamed Azhar, and now we are preparing to have a good relationship. Talking about the Myanmar, there also we had some dilemmas. We had some dilemma upon which side to take, whether the opposition or the government. And talking about Afghanistan, the Taliban, after the Taliban took over, they had a lot of problem, and India was also warned in United States. So now we don't know how the relationship will go. And talking about the Pakistan also, we are having a lot of instability. So from this article, actually we are getting to know before 10 years how we were having the relationship with these countries, and after 10 years in talking about 2024, from 20 to 24, what are the approach of our country in assisting in the new regime change of this country, especially Afghanistan. Now how we are strategizing our future with regard to these countries. The most important thing, we are giving the financial aid to these countries during their crisis, and also we were helping Maldives and Nepal in building the new governance, and we had also navigating a complex relationship with Taliban in Afghanistan, and also in Myanmar we still have a confusion whether to support the military side or the opposition forces. So this article, the idea was there to have an understanding of the history, or how India was having a strategy with this country, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Myanmar. All these countries had one or other political instability, and now from 20 to 2024, what were our approach? Okay, in 10 years before, India was a party in bringing up the democratic regime, in bringing or ending up the military rule, autocratic rule. Also India was a major player in that, and after 10 years, now India, what the role is having. So this was the article about, and you can use a lot of points from this article in your main answers whenever you are getting a question with any of these neighboring countries. So now let's quickly go to the next article. The next article is talking a crisis in WANA that no one talks about. Okay, so what is this WANA? It is a West Asia, North Africa. Now this article is talking, you can link to the syllabus to UPSC General Studies GS2, which talks about bilateral, regional and global groupings and agreements involving India and or affecting India's interest. So this article is talking, see, in Sudan, which has happened to be the world's worst humanitarian crisis in 2023. Even it was more severe than the situation it had in Gaza. So it is such an, there is a conflict between two military forces, SAF, Sudan Armed Forces, and RSF. Okay, and it was such a humanitarian crisis happening in Sudan, even worse than the Gaza. So we know how much the situation in Gaza is severe. Now it is said that the situation in Sudan is more worse than Gaza. Okay, now the crisis in Sudan, it started in 2023. So it was between SAF and RSF, two military groups, and around 10 million people, which is about fifth of Sudan's population, they have displaced. And the background is, we already discussed the fight between these two, SAF and RSF. And now the most important part from the syllabus perspective is that we should know why Sudan is important, why this crisis, humanitarian crisis in Sudan is a concern for our country also, why India also. And the reason is that Sudan is such a country where it has a lot of natural resources like crude oil, gold and fertile land also. And Sudan, we should understand the borders of Sudan, the bordering countries, the bordering areas of the Sudan, which is very, very important for the prelims perspective. So Central African Republic, Chad, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Libya, South Sudan and the Red Sea. Red Sea is having border with Sudan. So in that case, Red Sea is also important. So these bordering countries are very, very important for the prelims perspective. And there is a conflict. See, there are some countries which support SAF. There are some countries which is supporting RSF. So there is whenever the foreign involvement is there with regard to Sudan, there is also a conflict. SAF it is supported by Egypt and Iran, where RSF is supported by UAE. So there is a dispute from the foreign involvement with regard to the foreign involvement in Sudan also. So talking about how India is concerned, see, India's concern is that we are having a significant economic interest, and in 22-23 we have recorded a trade value of $2,034 million. Okay, and we have substantially invested in Sudan's oil sector also. We have extended a line of credit worth $700 million to Sudan, and all this conflict has impacted India's interest, including the trade, the investment and safety of the Indian diaspora in the Sudan. Okay, so this is how it is impacting India, and on a global level it is much natural resources are blessed for Sudan. So this is the reason. So from the exam point of view, you should know there is a crisis in Sudan. Just a background, which all groups are having that which all groups are having that fight in Sudan, and also why it is globally important, how it is important for India, and also the neighboring countries also you should study from the prelims perspective. And talking about the next article, it is reforming the process of judicial appointments. This article is talking about how to bring the accountability, or how to bring a more systematic way of appointing the judges, or some kind of appointments in the judiciary. So this article is talking how to make the process of judicial appointments or bring a reforms in that. So there is a data which is talking about the pending cases and vacancies, which you can use it in your mains answers. So as per April 2023, there were around 60 lakh cases were pending in various high courts of India, and 30% of the judge positions are also vacant, which is a very good data. You can use it in your mains answers. And there was two systems you should know about the appointment of the judges. One was the National Judicial Appointment Commission. So this National Judicial Appointment Commission, it was struck down by the Supreme Court itself in 2015, saying it was unconstitutional, because in NJAC there were representative from the government, there were law minister also included in the NJAC. So the Supreme Court said that no, involving this people from the government will have some kind of too much control by the government in the judicial appointments, which will gradually undermine the judicial independence. So for that reason, this NJAC, which was believed that there is some kind of accountability, there is some kind of transparency in appointing the judges, it was struck down by the Supreme Court itself, and now the collegium system is existing. The problem with the collegium system is that we don't know exactly what is happening inside the door. Okay, there is a chance of lack of accountability. Nepotism is also there, because these people in the collegium, they may prefer someone as per their favoritism. So this is also a concern. And our arguments for the NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission, representative of government is there, representative of civil society is there. So it is more of a democratic structure. Faster appointments will happen. So all these are the arguments in respect to support of NJAC. Now here I am giving you 3 countries which you can write it as an example. Whenever you are talking about the judicial appointment system, these countries you can quote it as an example, how effectively these countries are doing. UK, they have a judicial appointment of commission which is consisting of 50 members. They will be consist of judges, legal professionals and lay persons. South Africa, they have a judicial service commission, JSC, and they advises the president on these judicial appointments. And in France, they have a high council of the judiciary which helps in the appointment process. And all these 3, UK, South Africa, France, you can use this in your mains answers. When you are asked about a question on the judicial appointments, you can write it this UK, South Africa, France case study or example in anywhere in your answer, so that it will bring more authenticity and you will get more mark for your question. So that is about this article, and obviously we need to have the balancing between this Indian independence and accountability. So where NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission, it is bringing accountability, but many a times the independence of judiciary may be violated because the involvement of the government is also there. Okay, but collegium system, there is no accountability. There may be independence, but there is no accountability. But we have to have maintain both this term. So we need to have independence also, accountability also. For that, we should devise a mechanism, and there are some examples also we have discussed from many countries, from 3 countries: UK, South Africa, and France. And with this, we are going to the next article. So this article is talking about the are lie detector tests legally valid? Okay, so this lie detector test, it was in the context of the incident which happened in West Bengal. So this article is talking regarding whether this lie detector test, especially the polygraph test, there are mainly 3 tests which are conducted as part of this deception detection test, which are basically lie detector test. Okay, now the question is that this test, okay, it is constitutionally, can it be justified? Is it encroaching into the fundamental rights of the people? These are the question. So now there are 3 types of deception detection test. One is polygraph test. Okay, this polygraph test will be checking the psychological responses like our blood pressure or heart rate. So if I am lying, so they can understand whether my blood pressure or heart rate is getting some variation, so that they can understand I am lying. Another one is narco analysis. A drug will be injected, and the person will be telling the whatever they are asking, and it is believed that there will be a less chance likely to lie. And the other one is the brain mapping. Okay, so they will be measuring the brain activity, and that brain activity will help them, understanding the brain activity to help them detect familiarity with the certain information. So these 3 are the ways in which this deception detection tests are conducted. Okay, now the criticism is that, major criticism is that, one thing, see, the psychological responses may not necessarily indicate that this person is lying. Okay, and the second thing is the false positive, and the results will be positive, many times false positive also. The innocent people will be misidentified also. Now when talking about the court, how it observed before 2010, Indian courts have supported this DDTs. Okay, that mean that the accused person, you don't want his consent or her consent, but the scenario got changed. In 2010. In 2010, Supreme Court landmark judgment was there, very important, Selvi versus State of Karnataka. So in this judgment, Supreme Court categorically told that no, DDTs are violating Article 23, DDTs are violating Article 21. Right to privacy, it is being violated, and also it is there is a provision in Article 23 which says that I should not be, self-incrimination should not happen. Okay, no one should be forced to testify against themselves. So both Article 23 and Article 21 is being violated whenever you are doing these DDTs. Okay, so this is the Supreme Court's observation, Selvi versus State of Karnataka. And how it can be done? The consent must be taken, and a judicial magistrate, a consent must be recorded before a judicial magistrate, and all this process of DDTC should be adhering to the guidelines set by the National Human Rights Commission also. Okay, so now this is the article about, so we talked about the DDTs. So concerns about DDTs, a landmark judgment of Supreme Court in Selvi versus State of Karnataka, in which it said that it is violating Article 21 also, Article 23 also. So this was the article. I hope you understood what is DDTs and how it is impacting the fundamental rights of the citizens. Okay, now in the next article, relationship between India and Pakistan unlikely to become better, fine survey. Not that much important article, I just put it because neighborhood relationship, there is an article. So the article is simply saying that for this decade, there is no optimism, there is no hope that the relationship between India and Pakistan will be in a good phase. So they took a survey, they took in around more than around 1 lakh people they have involved. Okay, but these people, from taking their opinion, it is very rare chance that we will have a good phase of relationship with Pakistan in this decade. Okay. And there are minor opinions that okay, that should happen. Okay, and as per our external minister remark, we are trying to have dialogue with Pakistan, but many times the uncertainties we are having with Pakistan, so that is also some concerns in between. And there is a problem, like we believe that India believe that we are having highest influence in South Asia, where Pakistans and Bangladeshis, they see China as the most influence, okay, followed by United States. So we ourselves believe that we are the most influential one in the South Asia, but Pakistan. So that perception of influence is different. Okay, so that is an also another reason for this. So nothing not that much important, but you can use this particular finding in your answer when you are asked about India-Pakistan relationship. Just you can write this particular observation, this survey in your answer, but not that much value you have to give, but just understand the trend. You should understand. Okay, the trend is more important. It will help you in writing answers for many questions. And now the next article, and this article most important for this SSC RRB PSC and the CUET examination, because in those examination there will be questions from new appointments. Okay, so now such an appointment is in the news, that is regarding the Deputy Chief of Air Staff. Deputy Chief of Air Staff. So who was appointed as the new Deputy Chief of Air Staff? The answer is Air Marshal Tejinder Singh. Air Marshal Tejinder Singh. Nothing more from this article. And coming to the next article, again from the judiciary, which covers the statements made by Honorable President Ma'am and the Supreme Court Chief Justice. So culture of adjournment of cases in court has to change, says President. So our President was highlighting the challenges, both the President and the Chief Justice, highlighting the challenges faced by the judiciary, where the President especially emphasized that the poor villagers should not be kept aside from seeking justice. The reasons might be varied, but it should be paid much consideration, that it should be paid much vigilance that the poor villagers are kept away from seeking justice. So for that, there are some comment made by our Madam President Ma'am. So that include some terms. Is very interesting. You can use it in your answers. Black coat syndrome. This black coat syndrome means when the common person approach the legal system, many times they are becoming nervous. See, like white coat syndrome, there is something in hospital we will having some fear. That is called white coat syndrome. Similar, our President itself is saying there is something called black coat syndrome. The common men or the courts are not approachable to the common man. There is an inferiority among them. There is a nervous feeling among them. So this should be changed. It should made a people-centric space to come to seek justice. Okay, and there is also the concerns was pointed out with regard to the case pendency. The case pendency is too much in the country. It takes around 10 to 32 years, and if it is continue to happen, the faith of the people in the judicial system will collapse. So these were the observations, and also there are disposal rates. There is 95% about disposal rate is there, and that is also observed by the Chief Justice of India. And there is an good data here with regard to the district courts. So as per the Chief Justice of India, he said that 28% of the judicial positions in district courts are vacant now, and he suggested that the judicial recruitment process across the country should be standardized. If the judicial positions like 28% are vacant in district court, it means that district courts are the places where the citizens will be going for getting their justice done in the first stance. So these district courts itself, 28% of judicial positions are vacant. This is the best reason you could write, you can give, you can assume as the reason for the pendency of the cases. Okay, so this article, one of the important interesting terminology that was mentioned by the President Madam was the black coat syndrome. So the same thing you can write it in your answer. And what is this black coat syndrome? The black coat syndrome means the common men, especially the men from the rural area, from the village, they are very fearful approaching the court. They are not comfortable approaching the court. They are becoming very panic, seeing the technicalities that all the stakeholders of the judicial system are putting in front of them. So that should be resolved. It should be made accessible to them. there should not be any black coat syndrome. Okay, and the judicial pendency should be reduced, and the Supreme Court Chief Justice also opined that, he also said that there is 28% of the judicial positions in district courts are vacant, which is a very good evidence for to the reason, or it's pointing out that the pendency of the cases right from the district courts is happening in the country. So all these reasons we have discussed. Okay, now this article is becoming to an end, bringing to an end to the today's discussion of NEWSPAP. So I believe that the NEWSPAP discussion is empowering your preparation with new content and new dimensions each day. So please do connect with me in this number and or this email ID for my guidance and mentorship with regard to your UPSC SSC RRB or even CUET examination. CUET examination I am stressing because many of the students I am getting queries on a daily basis regarding the CUET preparation, how to cover the current affairs, how to cover the general paper. So all this thing I am very happy to help you, and again I am telling you the content, the material. There is a Telegram channel I am maintaining. The link is provided in the description. Please do join that Telegram channel, in which I will be uploading the newspaper and this particular PDF of NEWSPAP, which will immensely help you for mains examination, prelims examination. So please do subscribe the channel and be happy, spread happy, make everyone happy. Until we meet next time, that is tomorrow, it's me signing out from my classes by Mohamed Azhar. Happy learning, enjoy learning.